Welcome to Telios Tutors. In this video I'm going to show you how to solve inverse functions, and we're going to be doing a slightly more advanced question. So the question says, find the inverse of function f of x where that's equal to 2x plus 3 over 4 minus x. So as always, to find the inverse of a function, the first step is to replace any x's with y. So we're going to rewrite that to 2y plus 3 over 4 minus y, and we would equate it to x, and that's the case for all inverse functions. Replace with y all the x's with y, and then equate it all to x. And then now we need to go ahead and rearrange and try to make y the subject. In order to do that, we would first need to get rid of the bottom here, as always, and move it over to the other side. So if we were to shift this on the other side, the right hand side will now have x open bracket 4 minus y, since it's been multiplied now, since it was being divided on the left hand side. So we do the opposite when we're moving over to the other side. And then on the left hand side we would have 2y plus 3. Okay, so now we would just need to multiply and expand the brackets. So we would have x times 4, which is 4x, x times minus y is minus xy. The left hand side we have 2y plus 3. And then we would need to try and move everything that has a y to the left hand side. It could be either side, but I usually, whatever I'm making the subject, in this case y, I try to put everything to the left hand side. I just find it easier. So on the left hand side we have 2y, and then here we have a y as well. So it's everything that has a y, we're trying to move it over to the left hand side. So in this case this has a y, nothing else. So we're going to move this to the left hand side, and since it's minus on the right hand side and we're moving it across, we change the signs. So it becomes plus xy, okay? And then that's it with the y's here. So then we start with equals, and then on the right hand side we have 4x, and then on the left hand side we have a plus 3 that needs to be moved over to the right hand side, which turns into minus 3. And then this bit is where a lot of students seem to have trouble with, because there's y, but it needs to be extracted, and the way we do that is through factorization. So we would have to get the y out, open bracket, and then we would have 2 and then plus x. And if you're unfamiliar with factorization, I will create another video as to how to do that. Equals 4x minus 3. Okay, so now we're left with y open bracket 2 plus x equals 4x minus 3. So y is nearly on its own, but this whole thing here is still in the way, and since they've been multiplied, these two, we are actually just going to move this all across to the other side in order to get y on its own. So how do we do that? Well, at the moment, since it's been multiplied, we're just going to do the opposite of multiplication as we move that across, which is division. So what we're left with now is y is equal to all of this divided by all of this here. So we have 4x minus 3 over 2 plus x, and that's our final answer. So finally, the inverse, and this is the notation for that, of this function, is equal to 4x minus 3 over 2 plus x.